Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at some of these charts. We're just going to focus on the total market cap today. Make a short, sweet video. To be honest, it's not a great deal to say as everything's still piling down. Apart from EOS, for some reason, is up 6%. You know, you can't make it up. We're doing a live stream tonight. If anyone wants to join, there's a link in the description below for the Patreon. So we do live streams twice a week, one of them being Sundays. So let's get stuck in then. So if we're looking at this on a monthly, there's a bit of the rhythm to this. You know, we're talking about the bull market continuation, basically. So people like to say that this bull market's not been very good, but if you look at the chart, it actually is relatively good. In fact, it was better than the last one. If we just go back in time, just for a bit of perspective, what the last bull market looked like. You know, we're talking about cycles. This is what it was like. Okay, so we had the bear market. 2019 was where it finished, found itself around the 50 exponential, which is where it bounced from. We had the first initial run up, and then at that point you consolidated from the top to the bottom 73% on the market cap, right? This is the entire crypto market cap, just coming back down, 70 odd percent, which is crazy. If we think about the rough areas from the lows to where we broke out and went parabolic, it was a 300% area, to the top, towards the bottom, back towards the top, over what period? 700 days, right? It's basically a couple of years of basically sideways, basically, all the way from the bottom, all the way to the top, all the way back down to where it started from, all the way back up to the top, and then that's where the breakout took place after 700 days of effectively sideways through a range, right? This time, slightly different. We came down below the 50 exponential moving average, so worse than before. Like, the rhythm of it is not as neat as before. FTX basically being a big problem. We had a bear market across the entire financial markets. Everything was coming down for 2022. And everything was doing those everything bounces, and we managed to get 3 of those for stocks and only 2 of them for crypto because of FTX. But anyway, we came down below moving averages, so the rhythm was kind of broken. We finally reclaimed it. We're looking at this on a monthly, by the way, and and then when it was reclaimed, we basically bounced from there to a higher high, to a higher low, to a higher high, and now where's the higher low going to be? Well, there's a few places, and one of them could even be right now. It could exist at this level. So you've got these wicks and candles and wicks, and there you go. You're basically sitting on a major support. Previous all-time high, the most recent local high after the all-time high. So it would be an appropriate place to see a bounce from here. It's definitely a decent support. Whether it's enough to hold it, because the reason it might not hold is because we're talking about the entire market again. So it's like 2022. You can't look at one chart and ignore all the others. 2022 coming down across the board. Everybody's coming down, unstoppable basically. And crypto comes down. Your altcoin comes down. Everything comes down together. And so that that is basically, many ways, a little bit of what it's like at the moment. All markets are coming down. It's a risk-off situation, generally, across the board. However, if we don't look at charts at all and just say, oh, well, just leave it to do its thing, opportunities can be missed, or you lose sight of what it is that the chart is actually speaking to, which is still one of an uptrend, right? So we've got major support, and here we are sitting at major support. However, if you want to look at other areas of support, the next one down would be around this 20 to the 21 exponential moving average on the monthly. So we're talking 2.28 billion. 2.28 trillion, 2.19 trillion. So that's roughly around 15 to around 20% move from where we are right now. So, and again, that's just from the market cap. So you can only assume that, your average altcoin will see about a 30, maybe more % down if we were to come and land in these areas. That would bring Bitcoin down into the, towards 70,000 perhaps, maybe, if we saw something like that. It's easily possible. So let's have a look on some shorter time frames, like a weekly, for instance, and we're sitting at a 50 exponential moving average. We've seen this before. We saw this last summer. consolidation down. Yeah, we were lucky enough on this one to make sure that we were out before this consolidation. We basically carried on with our lives throughout this time last year, because this was almost completely inevitable that this was going to happen. We had bearish divergence on the money flow index and RSI on Bitcoin, and total 2 obviously, and total 3, and the total market cap. It was all there, it was all present, so we kind of were lucky enough to get that one and started to scale in towards the end of the summer. So that was pretty lucky. This time round, we were out in December and only started to scale in around January, and this is where I've been caught short, really, thinking that we would turn around these areas, where unfortunately we've now come down another increment. It's a little painful for myself, I have to say. But you can't get it right every time. You can't get it right every time. But however, people talking about the bear market and bull market's ended and 4-year cycle this, no. It's still pretty bullish, right? And if we look at the weekly, we do see ourselves sitting on this 50 exponential, similar to we did before. 50s are pretty good because what they are is golden cross retests, basically. So you have divergence across the 200 and the 50 exponential, and with that comes major support in the form of a bullish trend. Now, if it breaks down from here, then the goalpost has to be moved again, doesn't it? And we can move it once more back to what we just looked at on the monthly, which again has rhythm. We saw the rhythm on there, and that would be the next major area, which again, roughly a 20% move back down from where we are today. We have this, and we've got this on a few charts, XRP being one of them, and basically what it is a consolidation of momentum and volume. So what we'd be looking for, to be fair, what we'd be waiting for would be a breakout of this trend line with momentum and money flow. And obviously this is a weekly, it does not look like it wants to do it now. Maybe in the next few weeks or so we could see a breakout of this. The beauty of this is that this can't go down to minus figures. There's only so far it can go down. So you will at some point see a breakout of this on a weekly, and at that point you'll be like, okay, I think the trend has turned around officially now. And the beauty of it being broken out from a lower area is that it's got much further to run from a lower area, which means that a likely new all-time high. And we've got this area over here around September-ish, towards the end of the year, sort of end of Q3, Q4, basically. That's where I'm expecting the next peak to be, the next all-time high, and probably the peak which marks the end. So we see the move up, we see the consolidation down, we see the move up, we see the consolidation down, and then you could imagine the next move up bringing us into September, October-ish area. And you could imagine that because you can see uptrend, golden cross, divergence, retest, continuation is the name of the game. But is it going to do it today? I don't know. It is a support, but it is only a crypto market cap chart. It's not the entire world's market cap chart, which is the fight that we're fighting at the moment. It's David and Goliath at the moment, really. And this, as much as it's a multi-trillion-dollar market cap, it's still a bit of a David vibe going on, really, when you've got other charts which are like, really suffering pretty hard. Major tech stocks, just stocks in general, to be honest with you. Pretty much everything out there apart from gold and silver, which I have to say, we called that. Although it wasn't, it's not amazing, is it? It's moved, but it's not amazing. Right. Therefore, I'm expecting a turnaround still throughout this year to find a peak around here towards the end of the year. It's not going to do it tonight. I have to say, it's not going to do it tonight. Let's have a look at the daily to see if there's any reason to be bullish in any way. Well, unfortunately, we do have a death cross retest taking place on the daily. So what happens with a death cross retest, just similar to a golden cross retest, is that if you're bearish, you would short these areas. Okay? You would look to be invited back up to these areas only to take a short. It could be a fake out, so we could break through it, but the chances are you'd get rejected from it. That's what we'll be looking for. Now, I see that we've already been moved up into the 200 simple and exponential prior to the death cross, which death cross is taking place on simples yesterday and exponentials probably tonight or tomorrow. But these still give you an area to highlight for a move into it. It's very common to see that, just as you would see it in the opposite way. But when you're talking about huge charts like this, which aren't particularly traded specifically, you can't really trade this chart exactly. This chart is like a barometer for the entire crypto market. It can be a little messy, like the dominance chart can be a bit messy, and especially given the havoc that's going on in the world at the moment in financial markets. So let's have a look at backtesting what the last death cross looked like and what it actually meant. Because again, this isn't your average chart. So we saw the death cross on simple moving averages happen here, which kind of already marked effectively a low, right? And then we saw another death cross take place over here, which was basically your exponentials, and it was close to the low, but not quite the low. We did revisit the low, from a candle perspective, we made ever so slightly a new low, but from a wick perspective, it wasn't. So in this instance, what we saw was the lows getting printed around about the times of the death crosses. And then what did you see? You saw move into the death cross retest and move into the death cross retest. So like a magnet, a golden cross and a death cross, they both invite retests, whether it's on the 50 or the 200 in this case, but both more or less hit the 200. And then actually it sort of turned around. We kind of expected that anyway. This was all something which we kind of planned for, and we kind of thought that this would be an accumulation area, despite there being a death cross here on the daily. And then what happened? You got your golden cross, and then you got your retest of the golden cross, and then you got your continuation. And so maybe what we're looking to see is this being the low, or maybe a low being printed very soon, just after this death cross. Then you start moving into it. Perhaps we accumulate like we did after the previous one. So the death cross is printed, low being put in, death cross retest, low being put in, death cross retest, accumulation, golden crosses up and away. I think that probably the better way to think about all of this, if you had to, would be on the high term time frames, recognizing that right now, with or without a death cross, this is a support and then this is a support. If these areas get hit, then this is a support. This is all monthly time frame stuff. And if you're really looking for the big breakout and you're looking to hold off and you're not bothered about trying to catch any kind of low, and you're more interested in instantly gratifying trades and a much better trading environment, for bulls and longs and spot positions, then I suppose the best way to think about it would be wait for the breakout of momentum and money flow. It's often the case, and obviously you could understand this when you understand how green and red candles get created. They're not magic. It's just about buying pressure. It's about volume. Volume precedes price, and at the moment volume is still moving down, so it's unlikely to see continuation of green candles when you have a decreased volume. Volume keeps moving down. Red candles are going to be the more likely scenario. If we get a breakout and volume starts moving up, you're more likely to get more green candles. Just the nature of how these things get created. So, with that said, over the next few weeks, we would be looking for a breakout of the money flow index of this trend line, breakout of the RSI for momentum, and then you'll be looking for the breakout of price action all at the same time. I like it how it stands at the moment. There is rhythm on the 50, but if we lose it, then you are looking for a much bigger, longer lasting turnaround, which would be a move down to the 21 or the 20. And again, trying to just random stabs in the dark. It is a bit like playing darts or something like that. You got no one knows the absolute low. We have areas where you could assume a low. At the moment, the momentum's still pushing down, so it's unlikely that this is the low. But the absolute low is very difficult to navigate. But there is a major trend line here where we're sitting at right now, which in a couple of months, if we looked back and go, oh well, we did bounce from there, it would be obvious. Big resistance, big support. If you lose it, no big deal. We know where the next ones would sit. Anyway, I'll leave it with there. Nothing much more to say about it than that. Like I say, Patreon live stream tonight. If you want to join, links in the description. We'll look at whatever altcoins or stocks or anything that you want in that time. And other than that, though, it probably is still a bit of a hopium scenario that we do bounce and turn around from here. I don't really have a great deal more to say about it than that. Bitcoin and pretty much did revisit that horizontal yesterday and ricocheted from it. So this was our first move down after the breakdown, and we're having a response from it. But you know me, supports are supports, but on the move down, no bullish divergence to speak of. So I think it's kind of likely that we come down to here and then we break down to 80. And at that point, hope for some kind of divergence, at least on any time frame will do, but 4 hourly to a daily, that would be great. But we have hit the support, we have moved up, but we have also been rejected on the first moving average of any significance, being the 10 exponential on a 4 hourly. So a lot of room to make up on this bad boy over here. So it's unlikely that the low is actually, well, this could easily be the low, to be honest with you, but it's unlikely that this is the most recent local low. We might be coming down towards 80, which was all part of this area where I was saying between 80 and 90 could just be one giant accumulation zone, to which we sit around and break out from, really, at some point, maybe in April, towards April or May. We'll see. We'll know if it all goes wrong, because we'll have come down and made a new low. Lower than March's low. That'll take us to around 70,000, and maybe that's where you get a big bounce. Maybe not a reversal, but a big bounce. But at the moment, things are holding on just about, and there's rhythm to the charts, and as far as the higher term time frame on any of these things, basically the main ones, the total market cap and Bitcoin, they're still presented in a bullish way. It's not the end of the world at all. And it's not a bull market to complain about. I think the people who are going to complain are the ones who over-speculated on, new projects and stuff like that. And I see that all the time. I get it, on the Telegram, or I get it in the DMs, or, I even get it on some of the live streams. I get it in the comments of the YouTube channel. People always speculating on the thing that's only just come out, or a chart which is only a year old, or a chart which is basically down only. And those charts are not endearing at all. This bull market primarily stuck to only charts within the top 10, 20, or 30, but just basically real big charts with reasonably long histories, and they're the ones that have played pretty well, and they're the ones that are still up. Really, I mean that's the truth of it. They're not all up, but most of them are. You've got Chainlink is still up from its low. You've got Bitcoin still up from its low. XRP still up from its low. These are three of my big positions. Other charts, not so much. But, my biggest positions, or most of my biggest positions, still up from the lows. So, still a bull market as far as I'm concerned. And it feels like a bull market, and it looks like a bull market. Just because it's downtrending doesn't mean it's not a bull market. We said this, when we approached this area last year. I said, no, bull market's been great. Bull market's been amazing. But consolidation is required, and it's likely to take the most of the year. So it's probably going to continue throughout the whole of the year, find its lows around the end of the summer. This time is slightly different because it's not that was crypto related. That's what the chart suggested. This one is tied into the entire network of financial markets, and it's slightly different. It's not a chart or a rhythm that can be mapped in exactly the same way, but we can, and we do have a little bit of a handle on it, although it's difficult to say exactly where it's going to end. I would be surprised to see us make a new low, to be honest. I would be surprised. And my thoughts on all this tariff stuff is that actually, Trump's probably going to roll over and allow markets to move. And I'm not saying that because I want that. I'm saying that because I believe that. I think he's had his fun. Enough's enough. He's going to allow for markets to behave and the Fed to react. I'm not saying it's a master plan. I just think that's the most likely outcome moving forward. It's unlikely he's going to continue with this and allow for markets to actually go into a bear market. But I could be wrong. It could be wrong. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. Nothing much more to say on any of this. That is it. Still bull market. Still Still pretty optimistic between now and the end of the year. But as of what's going to happen in the next 15 minutes, well, good luck with that. Right, I'll leave it with you there. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.